Um, yeah. Uh, all I have to say is no, no, no. You don't love me, and I know why. uh,
That's cool on so many
um.
levels, man. Y'all been giving Jay Mills business on the
Oh
internet
no.
the past couple of days. I'll let
Listen,
Mills
man.
breathe.
We talked about at the playbook, right? I said when Mills gets 30, I want a 2 minute uninterrupted segment. Here it is. Let me get this rant out the way, right? But I do have some major pluses for Jay Mills. Before I get that started, everybody, you're now tuned into the Let's Talk Battle Rap Podcast, the Battle Rap Podcast of New York. I just had to throw out a little bit of pettiness. It's very rare that I'm petty. It's very rare that I slander these artists, but this was just an opinion that I just felt very strongly about, and I felt disrespected at one point when people didn't necessarily agree with me on this one. I didn't like that people were going against Shine on this battle. So, my rant, listen closely. Let me say this, right? Shine in the face off, the first face off, looked passive. Everybody was wowed away by the talk. And in my eyes, I thought to myself, like, this isn't gonna move me. Like, he's supposed to talk. Like, what he's doing, he's contracted to do. A face off, an interview, he's supposed to do these things. He's promoting his battle. What has he done prior to this? When I go search Jay Mills, I really don't find any data available. Like, I don't find him speaking about battle rap unless he's talking about an outrageous price. I don't see him at events. I don't really even see him consistently rapping at this point. So for the fact that he's been inconsistent and more importantly not around things, at least you people labeled it as you feel like an intruder, and that's what it felt like he was an intruder, and it felt rude to say that to him because of all the work he's put in and all the great things he's been able to give us in his career, his short career and the history he has. But it's just somebody not doing something for 14 years compared to somebody that's been consistent for 10 plus that we've seen catch numerous bodies, have great performances, rock thousands of peoples in the rooms. And this is somebody we haven't seen for 14 years. I just felt disrespected as a culture, where it's like we're really going to turn our back on somebody that we know has been consistent, literally been consistent for the mystery. And K Shine knew what this was. Like, K Shine looked up to Jay Mills coming up, so he battled Jay Mills with the mentality of this is 2004 J Mills, not 2018 J Mills, which is powerful. And I want to quote this. K-Shine says, "Dear fans, y'all count us out against people y'all haven't seen in years. You root against people that don't do nothing for y'all, and we fight through it all. And I just want y'all to think, for the people that has been consistently working for y'all for years, never took a break, never retired, never went on a hiatus for the last 10 years, consistency has been us, and we've survived." And that just
Who was in that picture?
in the pictures, DNA, Tay Rock, and Cortez. But the quote from it blew me away because it's almost as if K Shine knew what the result of this battle was going to be. He was well aware that plenty of pioneers, mainstream artists, and old legends have came back to battle rap, and nobody clearly beat them. Nobody put the foot on their neck. But he was aware he got the opportunity to do so, and more importantly, he put it on notice. Like, guys, like, be logical for a minute. Like, this guy hasn't battled in 14 years. How can you not expect him to have some flaws? And how could you expect me to lose? And that's why I've just felt like,
Right.
us as a culture, like, we can't allow this because, like, then that makes what's the point? What's the point of having 60 battles if somebody who's never battled before can come in and beat you? What's the point?
I mean, it'd have been easier to root for Jay Mills going in if Jay Mills had been around battle rap.
And
You understand what I'm saying? And he wasn't
that was my
downplaying
problem.
it, going
That
into
was
it.
my biggest
Like
problem.
it was it was easy to root for King Los, and be excited about King Los battling. Even though like he didn't necessarily battle in the format, that Mills and a lot of the other guys who came back in. Um he didn't battle in that format, so to speak, on camera that we saw. I'm not saying that he didn't in Baltimore or whatnot, but to see him come back or just hear about him coming back, it was exciting to see. Why? Because we've seen King Los at so many battle
He
events
studied.
over the course of the
He
past
studied the
couple
game
years.
tapes, bro. He studied the game tapes. Like at the very least, Joe Buttons studied the game tapes. Cassidy studied the game tapes.
Right.
Whoever else. I can't even think right now about all this other stuff, right? But all the pioneers that came back, the mainstream artists that came back, for the most part, they weren't so far removed. And people can't compare Mills' return to like Mook or Lux or Jones or Ines. Those guys were only off battle rap for 4 years, max 6. J Mills had been off for almost a decade and a half, almost 10, almost 15 years. So it was kind of crazy to think it's just like, come on, guys, really? Like this is somebody in front of our eyes, just like having a potential battler of the year kind of year, and we're gonna really like let it be thrown away by somebody with a mystique from 10 plus years ago. Like, it just shows to me like how much mystique people get swayed by. People are judgmental for the past. They don't really analyze what's going on in the moment. It's a lot of things in it. It did kind of offend me as well. Like, it's just kind of like, we put the pain in to watch all these. Bad Money, you and I have watched over 100 battles this year alone.
That's
I don't even think I can honestly.
Some I didn't even want to watch,
and I'm not gonna lie. Shout outs to you, shout outs to Tim, shout outs to Dylan, shout outs to Program V. I extraneate you guys to watch battles that none of us would probably be watching if it wasn't for like one of us throwing it out there, or me pesting you guys, or you guys finding something and throwing it out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we also encourage each other to watch certain matches that we.
Man, you was encouraging me to watch stuff before I even did an episode of the podcast with you. Just communicating online. So that's how I watch so much. I watched more battles this year than I have in my life.
I have put
in 1 year.
This year alone. And I can honestly say, and I'm putting my hand up when I say this, I've probably watched over 500 battles of my entire life. Easily. And I can honestly say, no disrespect to Jay Mills when I say this, it feels like he hasn't watched more than 50 battles.
It feels like he hasn't watched more than like 10 battles.
Yeah.
See, think about it. All right, let's break the battle down. As far as like his performance, real quick. His first round, I like this first round.
You gotta give him props. His first round was very, very impressive.
Like, maybe a dry spot here, like maybe 2 dry spots, where he wasn't saying too much. But I mean, he was up in Shine's face. He's talking to the crowd. He was saying all the right stuff. But when he was at the press conference, he said something, and that's when I got worried. I had faith, in Mills doing good, but he said something at the press conference that got me worried.
Was it the if I win one round, I won the battle? Because that worried me a lot. Like that.
That got me more
a lot, because it's like, is that your bar? Like, it's at that moment, like the first face off, he sounded very aggressive, and K-Shine was very passive. And I think K-Shine was passive because he's like, yo, this isn't the final time I'm going to have a chance to have a word with you, so I can come back later and retaliate. 2, I know what to do already, so I'm not even worried about what you're saying, right?
And I'm going to let you say everything that, you know what I'm saying? You're going to say, you give away your game plan because all your rounds are ready. Okay.
He said lines in both face-offs that were bars in his battles. and Shine, on the other hand, is just like playing it cool. And he said, like, yo, you're doing too much. And at one point, it looked like J Mills kind of just wanted validation. Like, you remember the press conference with King Los? King Los looked like a battle rapper. Like, everybody looked at him, and when he spoke, like, they listened. And, like, he
looked comfortable in the environment around a bunch of battle rappers. Like, we weren't at this particular press conference. We were at the first RB press conference for Rare Breeds, but we wasn't at this one.
From the live streams we've seen, it just looked as if he didn't look comfortable.
Yeah, we know how that environment is. You understand what I'm saying? So we know, like, we was sitting there when Verb and Mook was going back and forth and all that stuff, and Big K was in there being Big K.
Even Mook looked comfortable. Mook is far removed at times, but Mook knows everybody. Mook was in there like, I know Big K's rhymes. I know Pat Stay's rhyme. Like, when I was going back and forth with Pat Stay, Mook quote a Pat Stay bar. I'm like, oh shit, look at that. Like, Mook's in tune.
Right.
King Los is in tune. Jay Mills looked like he was wanted validation. Like he was like, "Oh, you're supposed to 30 me, right? You're gonna smoke me, right? If I win a round, if I make it close, what happens then? What if I make it close?"
You know why? Because it was more so easy to say things that he was saying in a room with just a handful of people that weren't battle rappers. When the only battle rappers that were in that room that day were him, Shine, Shuni, and QB. Now you're in a room full of battle rappers and battle rap media. Only battle rap media that you had to deal with
Boss Chick
that
Rain.
day on the first face off was Boss Chick Rain.
Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
Boss
Boss
Chick
Chick
Rain.
Rain,
Yeah, big
man,
shout outs to her for everything.
for her moderation of the press conference, for all the Rapmatic interviews that she has been doing, for these cards that have been coming up or whatever, and well leading up to the cards, whatever. Like the Murder Mook and Avert face off, the
Facts,
Jay Mills
facts.
interview, just
She put
she's
some
been
work, and
putting
she
on
got
for a
and she.
minute, so just take a
And she
quick minute to put some respect on Rain name. Besides the fact that she's done
fun
the
fact,
Rapmatic stuff, she's like been a pioneer in battle
fun
rap
fact,
media,
Bad Money. She
so
has a podcast, and her podcast is in the same studio as Let's Talk Battle Rap podcast. We just haven't bumped
nah,
into her
man,
yet, but we will.
we need to sit down with you, Rain.
Facts. So going back
You know
to
what I
Mills
mean?
is as if like the pressure was different, and
Yeah,
like he
but
just looked. It
yeah,
looked
but he said that he hadn't seen clean battle. I got worried because I'm like, well, how many battles have you been watching? How out of tune with battle rap are you? If you've never seen Clean battle, because Clean came in when B Magic came in, so that's not too long after guys like Calico and Shine and all of them were coming into Smack. Like that's
weren't
right
weren't you
after
weren't
that,
you the one that told me
So
that I think on our Slack that J Mill said he doesn't know who O-Red is?
nah, it wasn't me, but somebody
Right.
else said
So
it.
I mean, he doesn't know who the reigning battler of the year is.
The closer it got, to this battle, actually happening, the more chinks we saw in Mills's armor, and like I said, the first round was good. I mean, I had Shine winning all the rounds,
Yeah, let's talk about
but
Mills' first round.
that
Let's talk
first
about how
round was
good it
cool,
was, because it was really, really impressive, and it intrigued me
right?
because like at the beginning he was like, "Hey yo, Big, am I still trouble or what? Is he a sucker or what?" And it's like it was great because you gave us a nostalgic feel. So now we're in tune because obviously somebody's watching you. It's whoever remembered you from 10 years ago, and now you gave us that feel again. And then he got into his material as quick as possible. He had the flows. He had decent punchlines. He had those little pen bars, right? Like those little pen bars, like But the thing is, you can tell he forces them. Not force them as if they're bad or like they're reaches, but like a battle rapper uses a pen line, like where like they try to like display their writing abilities, not as the haymaker, but within the setup. J Mills is making it the
And I mean,
haymaker.
right.
So,
But I mean, but that comes with not knowing the game. I mean,
exactly.
so
Yes.
in sh- in short, because I don't want to go too deep into it. This ain't a deconstruct.
No, we could. I love the first round. We
Uh,
could talk about it because after that, there's not much else to talk about.
no, because I don't have no lines in front of me or nothing, friends. This is all
Okay.
off top. Um, so I mean, he had like a lot of different shit in his first round, that I was digging or whatnot, and I like his approach, and I thought like, all right, this is how he's opening up the battle. Like this is pretty good. Like Shine is still gonna win this battle, but I mean, if J Mills is opening up like this, like he's not gonna do that bad. And then it's just he didn't carry that momentum into the following two rounds, and it just seemed like those next two rounds, like they
That first
dragged
round, he was
out
Millsy Mayweather, and the
forever.
next two rounds, he was somebody else. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you gotta sit up there and like, who is he sparring with? Geechee, why you line that man up like that? Did you do it just so you can get an interview for the Riot Network, Geechee? Is that what happened? I don't know, Geechee. Look kind of suspicious.
Did you see the crying
But,
Jordan face on J Mills's body when he was
Yeah,
sparring with
I saw
Geechee?
it.
That was great.
Yeah.
But the internet is great. And the thing with J Mills, like having those haymakers to kind of end it with the attempts to be lyrical. Like for example, he said forget about my past. Shine is getting wrapped in the presence, right? It's one of those lines that like he has to end it awkwardly, and we have to be like, oh, I got it. So it gives you that reaction like feel instead of like you putting it early in your setup with a simple haymaker at the end. So that way I catch the line and I prematurely, get involved into what you're saying. And when you do those kind of lines, it fucks up your transition because now you have to restart all over again. The crowd is delayed. So there's just a lot of little kinks, right? But he had moments in the first round that was really good.
He did. And then it was like Shine's first round, it was dope. You know what I mean? But I think it more so heated up towards the end of it. And he started doing that crab sticks, butter them up. No. Then another one tuck. They big. Am I troubling them up? No, keep fucking them up. We know what happened. We know what Shine did in this battle. I think that's kind of like the point where Shine turned up at or whatnot, and he edged out the first round. So when I'm looking at it on a pay-per-view and you're there live, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, all right, well, Shine's first, it was dope, but it wasn't like body bag material. Like, if he's to keep this momentum up, then if Mills keeps the momentum up that he has and builds off of it, then Mills might fuck around and take this battle. But Mills wasn't able to sustain that momentum, So Shine did what he was supposed to go in there and do. Mills has really got to sit down and watch battle rap. Because believe it or not, even after all of that and Jay Mills been killed online, I still want to see Jay Mills battle.
Apparently he's back for 5 battles, so we're gonna have to see him. We're gonna have to see him again. And I think if he can hone into who he was into his first round, he'll be okay in this culture. He'll be all right. He'll adapt. I think he took the ass whooping he had to take, and everybody's like, "Yo, that's it. Just get back up."
He's never been humiliated in battle rap. Every battle rapper at some point in time has been at a point, where in a battle they've been humiliated in some type of way, shape, or form. Now, shout out to Henny Man, Battle Rap Trap, who's always I see online, I see in the champion comments, I see on Twitter, and anything we do, with the podcast, Henny always bigs up us and supports us. In Henny's recap, Henny shared some similar sentiments that I was thinking in my head, but I kept to myself, that a better opponent for Mills to come back to would have been Reed. That would have been a better matchup for him to come back to as opposed to a K Shine that's on fire, like a 2018 K Shine. Reed and Mills styles kind of like match up a little bit better. Like if I'm comparing the Reed that I just saw.
But then the stigma would have been that you battled somebody from your era in this day. You didn't battle one of us. Then what?
Well, he battled one of the people from this era, so we got that out the way. That's the next match that should be set up for Mills as Reed.
I like that being the post match afterwards, because if you come back, you have to come back.
Right. I mean, like I said, shout out to Henny, man, because I really, really was thinking that to myself. Like as the battle kept getting closer, I'm like, this is not a good matchup. Like, well, thinking to myself in my head, like, well, who else would you rather see Mills battle? Because I did want to see Mills come back, and I was like, shit, Reed would probably be a better opponent for Mills. But I kept it to myself, like I said. So I do want to see Mills come back, but I want to see him really like study the game tapes on himself and then, take his loss like a man and admit that he lost and come back stronger. Because if he studies the game tapes as far as like that battle, and then like somebody really sits down with him from this era and like, nah, you got to watch this battle. You got to watch that battle. Now he knows what the crowd gravitates towards.
Yeah, he can't. He
knows like, all right,
like that's the sure number one way to always lose a battle, like arguing with the crowd.
Don't tell us we sleep, Jay Mills, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
You can't tell the crowd they're sleeping when they were just cheering for you a round ago, and you're the third battle of the night. Right. It's 5 p.m. Like this is easy for us battle rap fans. Like we get tired.
Wait. Didn't Mills say, I wish somebody would put me in the middle of a card? You went on at such and such time.
I guess he doesn't realize that in battle rap. I get it. I guess in music, that's the objective. We're gonna be able to rock with it. But in battle rap, it's the complete opposite. You want to go as early as possible.
Right. And that's the crazy thing, is just like that's one of the flaws that I saw. As confident as he was in that Rapmatic face-off, when he said that, I said, yeah, he don't know what he in for. If he think it's okay to wait till the end of the night to go,
he's sadly mistaken.
Nah, he's in for the surprise of his life.
going back to Champion, right? Shout out to Champion when we were there. I mentioned this battle with Shells, and honestly, I don't know if you ever heard the battle. It's in the internet somewhere. I'll try to find it and throw it on Twitter if I can find it. It's hard to find now, but in the battle, it's almost the same way as the K Shine battle. He got booed out the building. Well, he didn't get booed out the building in RBE, but what I'm saying is the crowd wasn't receptive to him. He doesn't know how to hone a battle rap crowd.
Can I say something real quick before you finish
finished.
that?
I finished.
I think you helped K Shine with an angle in the face off too, because he bought that Puerto Rican thing. And I'm not sure K Shine even considered even talking about that or nothing until a lot of people probably didn't know that. So I think you probably helped K Shine.
I helped K Shine out on that one. Hey man, he didn't need it.
Yeah.
Let me say let me say these last two things about Shine, and we could get rolling because we already know the results of this battle. I want to give props because, like, even though J Mill's like, I created the flows and this is that, you rap like me. Hey, Shine's a better rapper than you, bro. I'm sorry. There's no other way to clarify it. Not as a battle rapper. As a rapper, technically, Shine is better. Like, Shine knows how to compound a rhyme pattern with similes over and over and over again. He gives you so much value in his performance. Like, he's an electrifying performer. He's gonna compound his rhymes. So like what Shine will do is he'll take a word. For example, he'll say like clock. He'll think about all the words that rhyme with clock: box, sock, rock, top, and then he'll say, okay, these are all the words that rhyme with clock. I'm gonna make them all into sentences and into all punchlines. Oh, I got hands like a clock. I'm hard as a rock. Go for the feet like a sock. And he does that over and over and over and over and over and over again with different flows. So he's giving you so much value that even when his haymakers don't land and they're not fire, he has so much set up punchlines that you appreciate what he gives you. And when you mentioned the crab sticks, butter them up, he did a rhyme scheme to it where it was like, another 6 foot dude with a death wish, double it up. The trouble is, so like he'll have a long sentence and then he'll rhyme, long sentence, rhyme, long sentence, rhyme, and it just sounded so well structured. And we can admit this wasn't one of his best lyrical displays. Like this was like a K Shine at a 7 at best. Like he didn't kick it in full gear. He didn't have to get to 30, but that shows you how strong of a battle rap mind he is, that he can hone his energy and control everything the way he does, and it's amazing. I think it's underrated.
Thanks.
And I'm gonna say this, man. Listen, we said it before, but I'm just gonna say it again. K Shine's an all-time great battle rapper. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Like this has to be one of the battles that at least solidifies it for people that didn't agree. He is an all-time battle rapper.
That's a fact.
So that's my appreciation for K Shine, who's now in the Champion of the Year conversation because of his body. Probably hasn't lost a round. But moving on with the event, man. Shout outs to Clean and Gyms. They put on a pretty good show, right? Better than we all thought.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was going on in that crowd. Y'all was asleep on a lot of their material in the first and the second. I don't think like the crowd woke up to the crowd. Third, you know?
This crowd was different. Like something was weird in the atmosphere. Let me tell you about that. Because when we got to the 1SKs, and I'm not comparing the 1SK to Gyms and Clean, but KD battled, and KD is a lyricist. He got no reaction. Butter from the Block is an energy battle rapper, and he wasn't saying nothing too crazy like how KD was. And he was actually, KD was very original. He don't use gun bars. Butter, gun this, gun that, energy this, energy that, performance here, performance there, and they loved it. So this crowd wanted performance more than bars. That's for sure. It threw me off.
That's it.
It was an energy night more than a lyrical night, to be honest with you.
That's wild. I mean, Clean and Gems definitely had a good battle. I wish it could have been more energetic in the building. As far as like, the crowd being engaged with the battle. I think both of them had their high points and their low points in the battle. On first watch, I might be giving it to Gems.
I'm not mad at you. I think this is a match that nobody really loses, to be honest. Like, they both did good enough where nobody walks away as a clear winner. it's an edge on both sides.
Right.
It's probably one of those battles who you're feeling that day, who you pick, what's your preference. But nobody really takes a L in it, and I'm happy for Jims because of that, because he got that grudge match out the way. This is probably one of his better performances. Probably one of the best gym performances of his career, to be honest. Might be a top 5 gym performance.
Right. I'll say this. I might look back and might like some of clean stuff better. I could tell when I was watching, I was like, all right, right now I might be kind of edging Gems, but I like a lot of clean shit, so I want to go back and watch it again. But Gems, it is not funny to get punched in the face. Stop making jokes about it, man. Don't use that as a punchline, because your opponent's going to use it as a punchline. It doesn't necessarily like take the power away from them when they say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they make a joke about it. It's not, you know what I mean?
It's not the best form of
hit as hard.
It's not the best display of it.
Right. And Jims is like, Jims did some good ass writing in this battle. Like, Jims did some good ass writing in this battle. I haven't like heard him, write on the level that he was writing in this battle. It was pretty dope. But that's just my only takeaway from the battle, is just that I would just advise Jims to kind of like ease up off that. You know what I mean? Like, I became a Jims fan, during the course of this year. So it's not that I didn't like him before, but I wasn't necessarily a fan, but he's gotten like a lot better this year. I'll say that. Like, I appreciate his skill set, and what he does and what he brings to battle.
1000% agree.
So just next battle, let's talk about Shuni and QB.
Shout outs to the ladies for having the battle of the night.
You want to say that? Well, we'll say the in the building battle of the night, because
I guess because I guess Will and Calico had the better ambiance and the better feel for things, but it happened afterwards, so it was aligned with the stars for a different occasion. But in the building, they had the best battle of the night. And can I just say,
even my sister said the girls had the best battle of the night. Before we even get
into the battle, I had to go to church the next day, bro. All that disrespect. I don't know. I couldn't handle it. We were all watching it in such discomfort. Like, oh my god! Like, QB puts you in that state where like you have that scrunched up face. You go, ugh. And then it's just like you get goosebumps just getting the imagery of what she wants to say, and it makes you uncomfortable. But it's so effective and powerful at the same time. She's so good at that.
So somebody told QB, because she was being interviewed by Hip Hop Is Real. And she said a particular line. I'm not going to repeat it. I know exactly what she said, but I'm not going to repeat it. And that person, like, just randomly was like, yo, when you said X, Y, and Z, like 5 people that was in the front row up there with me that I saw were like standing around me, they just left and went outside. Like, in her first round. Like, this was a disrespectful battle. These women had been friends, before, but you couldn't tell in this battle the way they was talking to each other or whatnot. Like, it was wild up there. I told y'all, like, Shuni looked focused. Shuni was going to bring it. I mean, y'all was saying, telling me how the battle was going while y'all were there, because I didn't necessarily get to watch the battles or whatnot. I had some family stuff going on, so I didn't watch the battles until like Sunday morning.
So you already had a narrative of our voices, but then you got into it and you didn't see what we saw.
Because I had the pay-per-view order and stuff. It's just it was with my family. I couldn't get to it, live.
Understandable.
Or
That's the point. That's the point of the live. So if you can't see it now, you see it later. That's the point. And
exactly. So I was looking online, like, after that, once I got in the house from handling everything, I saw some Shuni 2-1s, I'm like, well, Francis was saying this. Why am I seeing Shuni 2-1 on the internet or QB 3-0, So that goes to show you it was a good battle. I didn't see Shuni 3-0. I saw either Shuni 2-1, QB 2-1, or QB 3-0. It was a good battle. Like, they went to war, so
Shuni,
I'm glad the ladies jumped on a big card and was able to do what they had to do and represent.
My expectations. Just because I didn't think she wasn't going to do well. I just thought QB was going to be so imposing with her impact.
I told you Shuni looked focused, man. Look at Shuni in that trailer.
First round, QB won it clearly. And, but the problem with the first round was shout out to some guy in the crowd with us. I didn't get a chance to get his name, but before the battle started, ARP was like, "All right, man, ladies battles, 2-minute rounds," and I was like, "2-minute rounds?" And then some guy next to me said, "They didn't book him for a long time." But Shuni stuck to the time limits the first round. QB didn't. So obviously, with two elite female battlers, or two elite battle rappers, period, just in competition, if somebody gets an extra 90 seconds, an extra 2 minutes, they're supposed to win the round. Clearly, they should. They should. That's the goal. If you get that much extra time, and QB had a little time discrepancies, won the first round clearly. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, if Shuni rode to the time limit every round at this point and QB went over, every round's going to look like the first round. Like, the first round was a little lopsided. And that's how I thought the entire battle was going to go. The second round was a little closer. And the third round, you could edge it to Shuni, but you can still edge it to QB too. So I think.
Yeah, I mean, I had Shuni taking the second round.
Shuni winning the battle.
And no, I got to look at the third round again.
The third round's debatable. Well, the point is, there it goes to show you, 2 rounds are close. One has a clear winner. So QB kind of had more of the dominant performance, but
I'll tell you,
time limit.
I'll tell you why. I think Shuni just was like so on point. Like she gave me more in the second round as opposed to like QB giving me more of the same of what she gave me in the first round. You understand what I'm saying? Shuni did something different in her second round that she didn't do in her first round, you know? And I felt like she rapped longer than she did in her first round. But I just think Shuni's second round was a little bit more harder than QB's, you know what I'm saying? And then the third round is just, this is where she, you know, got to the disrespect with QB or whatnot. And QB's third round started off the same way as the others did. It's kind of like, after so much disrespect after a while, it's like, all right, damn, like, how disrespectful can you be? But I'm not going to sit up there and act like all QB bought was disrespect. QB bought fucking bars. You understand what I'm saying? So
I can't wait to see them both again, to be honest. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is coming strictly off of one watch, you know, not having anything written down in front of me. Shout out to transcriber from Genius, Tim Nelson. You're going to have a fucking ball with this battle. Good luck with your stomach.
I can't wait. I would love to see his face while he's transcribing this battle.
Oh man.
Yeah, the ladies put on, man. Big milestone for female battle rap. I was so proud at the end of the day just to see them both compete. I was concerned because after the first round, it looked a little lopsided, and even though I predicted it, I just didn't. It looked worse than what I thought. You know, like I thought it was gonna be Shuni did good, QB just did great, but it was like Shuni did good.
Right.
Battle rap politics because of time limits. I don't get why time limits is still a problem. Bad money. I don't understand. I just will never understand it. I'll never get it. Like, why can't people agree to it? Somebody goes over. Why don't you take the advantage to cut them off? When you cut them off, people are gonna complain that you look bad. You were losing the round. Blah blah blah. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's a headache. It is wild. Honestly. Like, they were arguing over the time before the second round. You probably don't see that on the VOD or the pay-per-view, but you know. Oh, okay.
No, I saw that. That's definitely on there.
We're in the crowd like, like me and V know what's up with time limits, so we're looking at each other like, great, another one of these battles where they just don't get it right, and it gets annoying sometimes, to be honest, because I feel like if you want somebody to have a fair advantage in the battle, you have to make the playing field fair. But exactly. The ladies put on, man, and let me point this out too. Even though we left the venue early because RB booked the venue for a certain amount of time and Ill Will and Calico didn't happen, it was only 6 o'clock.
All right, so I'll say this. I did look on Twitter during the course of me handling the stuff I had going on with my family, and I remembered that Jay Mills did say at the face-off, I'm going to get to something when we're wrapping up that we skipped over with that whole Jay Mills K-Shine battle. I don't know how we skipped out on it. But he was like, what time we got to be out the building, ARP? 6 o'clock? All right, yeah, 7 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to see if his face looked the same way. So when I was peeking at stuff, I'm like, all right, so this battle just happened. This time, Jay Mills said that, they got to be out the building at 6 o'clock. I wonder if they're going to actually finish this event. And then come to find out they got, kicked
I
out.
don't want to put the blame on anybody for this, but I think somebody from the 1SKs came late. I think, and if they push
Wow.
the event back forward, that's not good.
On a card of this magnitude, I'll say that for the
Yeah.
wrap up.
So yeah,
I'll say that. No, I'm not even gonna say that. I'll say that. Say what I'm gonna say for that. In closing,
yeah.
Calico versus Ill Will. Let's get
We
into
haven't
it.
had a street field like environment battle like this in a long time, right? Like this is kind of actually what we thought the volumes were supposed to look like, instead of the volumes being in an enclosed room.
Facts. They tried to do it when they did Double Impact and NWX battled Clips and John outside, like T Top and Saga had to finish their third
Right.
round outside. They tried to do that, you know what I mean? But I would have wanted to, see people go back into, doing that after that. I thought that would bring more like outside in the street type battles back, but didn't do nothing. So it was good to get that outside in the street type battlefield back. Plus, it also brought back the feel to, and even Ill Will said this when Cal first came up to Pontiac, and hosted Ill Will's battle outside, his homies, Cal's homies and stuff like that. So it brought that type feel, So it pretty much made the battle come full circle in a way.
You know, I didn't think of that when you just said that, but like when you think of Calico hosting Ill Will's first battle out out there in Pontiac, you can imagine both of them battling in that exact same spot too, right? Like you can almost
Yeah,
envision it. Like they were meant to battle there, so it was almost as if they were meant to have a outside battle. Like it's already cold in New York. I don't know if it's cold in Philly, but the weather out here it was cold.
yeah.
Like
I'm pretty sure it's
it
colder
was
up
weird
there.
because like earlier in the week it was hot, like the sun was blazing, but that Saturday it was cold, cold. Like I had a
It was the
I
same
had
way
a
here.
thermal and I had
Trust
the
me.
cardigan, thick cardigan, and they're outside, and later it gets colder it gets. So I'm sure at this point they're like, you know what, fuck it, like this is where you breathe and you can see your breath, and it was just one of those battles that had that feel, and they both got to rap like without the
Right.
over over eccentric excitement, the extra fuel to the bars, like, and I loved it.
Right. Of course you have, the entourage is hyping the bars up and stuff like that. But I mean, it brought the feel to it. I mean, if you were able to see any of the pictures that are like floating around online or what the environment was like or how many people was there, like I would have wanted to be there. I wish your punk ass would have stayed around a little bit longer and lingered and you would have
Yeah,
been there.
man.
But you ain't. But I know you had to go for your obvious
Yeah,
reasons
take that
or
L, man. I
whatnot.
took that L on that one. Normally I stick around, and
You had to get ready for church at the watching
that
QB and
that's what
Shuni.
happened. That's
You had
exactly what happened.
to we go that's your story and
Yep.
you sticking to it.
And normally I stick around, man. Like sticking around the events is when you see all the real interesting things happen. I mean, me sticking around the strike is how I got to be for chess and twerk.
Hey, don't give away all the
Yeah, yeah,
secrets
yeah.
away. Don't give away the secrets.
But
Nah, I
but
ain't just playing.
it's
But
one of those battles
man,
that you can just watch on the screen. You can feel it. You don't get those kind of battles
right.
that, like, too often. It had that feel. I don't know how I felt about the scuffle. People said they liked the scuffle. I didn't like it. I never liked the extra shit.
I think it was bound to happen based off of how enclosed the end they were. Um, I'm not sure if it would have happened if they'd have had, the battle actually happened in the building because there would have been more room to move around. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, they both had an understanding like, I'm going to poke you, I'm going to be up in your face, I'm going to be screaming on you and stuff like that. But being in an enclosed environment like that, like from my past and my history, of, being out here, in rap ciphers and stuff like that and in battles, in that type of environment, like you could be rapping and then just everybody that's around or whatnot. It don't take but one person like to stand a certain way that might inch forward, you know what I'm saying, that'll make the circle a little bit smaller. You understand what I'm saying? So that circle is going to eventually just get smaller if they're just standing there rapping and moving around in it and stuff like that. And it was cold outside. You got the women out there and stuff like that. So, they're probably moving around, trying to stay warm. Robert Rhymes was there. A couple other, females that in the battle rap community were there as well. I can't name off the top of my head, but, you see them in the footage or whatnot.
Can we
So,
talk about how good?
I
Can we talk about how
mean,
good?
as long as they handled it
Can,
like, man, it just went, it didn't go past where it should have
can
went.
we talk
You
about how
understand what I'm saying?
good
They just
Calico
moved
was
the
that night? Like rapping wise, like he really displayed an elite level of like, wow, you reminded me why like you're such a great battle rapper.
right.
What'd you think of Cal's performance? We talked a lot about the environment
Um,
and the setting, and it was beautiful. But like individually, what do you think of their performances?
it's like what we was talking about, the playbook or whatnot. The fact that we were all going with Cal, during the playbook said a lot about his rapping ability. And I think Cal came out there and displayed his rapping ability, that night. And I think also like we saw different Ill Will that night too. Like Ill Will didn't do a lot of joking around and stuff
No,
like
we
that, like
definitely
he's
did not.
typically known to
Yes.
do. Like Ill Will was talking,
I
bro.
love the fact that we saw a different Ill Will. Like I kind of knew what to expect from Calico. I was wondering how does Ill Will combat it, and Ill Will. You can tell
Right.
by the way he treated that battle. It meant something to him. It was special. Like cause you seen,
Exactly. He got that
yeah,
first clearly to me.
I agree. Cause you seen Ill Will be competitive with a lot of people, and he's just competitive. He punches. He's witty. He freestyles. He can do it all, right? But with this one, he didn't really encompass his versatility. He came here to kind of really attack back. It looked not
Yeah.
like out of his character, but it's just not something we're used to seeing. You think about his.
It was more so like, you know what? We knew Calico was gonna attack his character,
Mhm.
right? It is more so as opposed to defending his rapping ability. I think he defended his character as a man. You know what I'm saying? More so like you can't discredit me. Nothing I done. I'm not trying to hear nothing you saying this, then the 30. He had his punchlines in there and
Right.
stuff like that. But it's like, dog, like I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna respect me as a man. And I think that's the approach that Ill Will took with this battle. Like you gonna respect me as a man. I know you're gonna be on this Pontiac Detroit shit. You know what I'm saying? That's then the third. I'm not trying to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? Talk all you want. But at the end of the day, after this battle, and during this battle, and before this battle, you will respect me as a man. And these people that are watching this battle gonna know, like, whatever you saying, you know what I'm saying? You can't discredit me as a man,
I think you
period,
said. I
point
think you
blank.
just said.
You know what I
I
mean? And
think.
that's a
I think you
different
said
side to
discredit
Ill
me as
Will
a
that I'm
man
saying
like
that
six
we've
times
seen.
in like 20 seconds.
Because I think that was Cal's
Yeah.
angle. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, Jim said, what you call it? What was it? Drug consumption like six
Yo,
times in his round.
remember the over
Give me a
under?
break.
Remember the over under on Jim's baby bars? He hit it. He
Yeah.
had like 3 baby bars. We predicted 2.
Oh man. But my fault. But no, I think it from the outside looking in, you know what I'm saying? Leading up to the matchup, if you watch Cal on Twitter and you watch Cal on Champion talk about this battle, it just more so, and we know what type of battler Cal is. It just more so seemed like he's gonna try to attack, Ill Will's character. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Ill Will more so stood up for his character as opposed to standing up for his rapping ability. If that
That's
makes
deep,
any
bro.
sense.
That's a very good way to look at it. I gotta give you props on that one. That was a very good breakdown of it. And honestly, I don't think we're being too hyperbole. I'm not gonna go ahead and throw out the C word. Throw out the C word. It needs time to evolve into that first. But
I'll throw out the G word,
oh
which
no,
is
of course, of
great.
course.
You know what I'm saying?
But I
You know
guess
what
now
I'm
do we
saying?
say is this a top 10 battle of the year? I think it might. I think it might creep its way into that conversation.
I think without question, it's definitely a top 10 battle of the year.
Let me get a little crazier.
You
Is
know
it
what I
the top
mean? I'm
five
gonna
battle of
sit.
the year?
I gotta sit down and watch the game too. A lot of battles happened this year.
You're like, all right.
Seriously, man, we've had so many events
The
this year.
hyperbole,
You know what
only
I
the
mean?
hyperbole.
Oh man.
um, and that's
So,
the whole event.
but I had Ill Will taking the first. I had Calico, um, Edge in the second, maybe.
Yeah, I had Calico 2 and 3, but
And
I'm not mad if you have.
yeah, and I had Calico Edge in the third because Ill Will's third was good too. But it's just like even with saying Calico won in rounds 2 and 3, I can't take nothing away from Ill Will's rounds, but more so it speaks to the quality of Calico's rapping ability. More so like he was flowing as opposed to just rapping. He was rapping and he was flowing and he was talking to his opponent.
Big shout outs to Ill
You know what I'm
Will.
saying? So it's like you said, you made a good point. Like we didn't get the Math Calico, we didn't get the Tay Rock Calico. We got the Ill Will
Yeah, this is
Calico.
a Calico now. You kind of brand for something, and remember, I think I've told you this on air, previous episodes. I definitely said on the Slack plenty of times. I want to see Calico in the volume for this exact same,
Definitely. I
reason.
mean, that made you hungry to see Calico in the volume because he's not getting cut off every 2 goddamn seconds, when he's rapping, and we haven't seen that since when?
I can't. I can't.
Who is
Right.
this
I
nigga?
can't really even recall. And honestly
Exactly.
speaking, man, the event was a solid event. If it happened in the building, I don't know if I would rate the event higher than I normally would. But I gotta just give the shout outs to ARP, RBE, Lawrence. Their professionalism is crazy. Even when they started late, they told everybody they're gonna give everybody partial refunds, and they're gonna send out the link to the battle. And then he made sure every single person got the link. People that emailed him,
Even if you
even
paid
if you
with cash, like they would listen, that's good
that's
business.
great
All right.
business.
Like he's like if you bought a ticket in cash, email this, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
person.
you gotta think to
Email
yourself
that
is like
person.
after an event, then is the wrap up, right? Like of cleaning up the venue, this and that, blah blah blah, and then you probably get to finally go home and just relax. You get to relax
Right.
as a fan, as a battler, and even more as a league owner. But he didn't get to relax yet because now he had to deal with who knows how many emails. His inbox
Right.
must have been jam packed. I was like, I'm not even gonna rush it. I'll get it when I get it. He sent me the email directly the next day. We all saw the battle, and shouts to RB, man. Small battle events like that are the way to go because even if Ill Will and Calico happened, we still would have left at 7 o'clock. So we would.
They didn't see that
What
battle.
what you mean?
Jay Mills
Oh,
hype man voice.
I cannot believe we didn't talk about the hype man. Now we got it. Now
That's what I was getting at. That's what I said I wanted to come
so now
back
that we've
to.
covered the event, great event. I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10. Um,
You know, 6.5, maybe a 7. I have something to say about that after we tackle this.
J Mills hype man was the MVP of the night. Now I'm confused at this point, right? I don't know if
Oh
it's
man.
the hype man that doesn't understand what's going on, or is Jay Mills doesn't understand what's going on. Like for example with the
No, it has to be the hype
yeah,
man. Come on, man.
but
It
then
had to
but
be
then
the hype.
Jay Mills also said like the Adrian Broner Triple G stuff, and you can hear it in the
Oh
crowd, and the
yeah.
person that said it was next to me in the crowd. He said Triple G didn't fight Adrian Broner.
And Jay Mills hype man probably was like, they don't watch soccer.
They don't watch UFC. Yo, when he set the Vontae Davis bar and it didn't land, he goes, "They don't watch basketball." I was like, "Whoa,
Oh my
what?"
god.
Because like I'm a football fan
Get him
second to
off
compare to
the stage.
basketball, but when I heard that, I was like, "Nah, this can't be. Are you serious, bro?" And then the Matt Barnes, I love. Shouts to Loso. I seen him tweet this. He was like, "Oh, James hype man was talking about the Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher fight. They didn't see that movie. That happened in real life. That wasn't no, that wasn't no movie."
People were wild, man. What be wrong with people,
Yo,
bro?
his hype man definitely backfired.
Man. Um, One thing I'll say, um, I think this event could have been a lot better. I think um Rare Breeze was the better of the two events. I think what I'll say, as far as like the one SKs go, for cards of this magnitude, maybe one SK battle. That's it. Or no one SK
Nah,
battle.
they can't deviate
Kind of
from
like.
it. But I agree with one.
But listen, what I'm saying is, not for the mega cards. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah,
Not for the
they'll
mega
never deviate
cards,
from the
like
one.
when they're
Nah, they'll
putting on
never
like
deviate
this.
from the one SKs, and I appreciate that. So I'm
No, what I'm saying is like, all right, you see how you have like the smaller cards, like I'll say Pearly Gates or Live His Soul 4 or
Right.
something like that. Those are smaller cards that don't have mega matchups like Mook and Verb or
Well,
J
let
Mills
me
and
tell you.
K Shot.
Uh,
Wait. Let me get my round off. What I'm saying is use those smaller cards to build the 1SKs up to the point that you can put a 1SK that really, really matters, like guys who have been that you've been building up, and put that matchup on the mega
so
card.
here's nah.
You understand what
I
I'm
get what you're
saying? I
saying.
also think the mega cards too soon to each other. Like maybe wait until like December to do another card as opposed to like 2.5 months after you just had like the best card of the
Well,
year
did you?
possibly. Waited till like December and closed it off. I think November was too
I don't know if
early
you heard
for me.
ARP had an interview with Uncle Ra, 15 Minutes of Fame. Shouts to Uncle Ra. But he said that Drum was booked for the entire year. That was the only date available. Yeah,
Damn.
so it was either that day or 2019. And I'm not gonna lie, like even though 2019,
I would have wanted more
yeah,
more RB in
2019
20. Go
is
ahead.
just about a month and 2 months away. But without this event to go from August all the way to like January, February without making any noise,
Nah, that would have been good for RBE. So all right. Well, then that was good
and as
business
far as the 1SKs, the reason why they'll never deviate from it, but I do agree with you that they should find a way to minimize it
to
depending on the card, to
balance it
balance it out.
out.
Is that all their cards are themes and they're so consistent. So like a Lift the Soul 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are is gonna keep the same theme, just gonna try something new within the context of the card. And what I want to
Right.
see is these 1SKs evolve. Like I feel like these guys take these 1SKs and we never hear from them ever again.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying is use the smaller cards that don't have the mega matchups on it. Since that's the game that y'all are into now is doing the mega matchups now. RBE, shout out to y'all for that. You know what I mean? Because y'all built yourselves up over time.
I I'm
But
surprised they haven't.
like I said,
I'm surprised they
use
haven't
the
done
small.
an
Go
event
ahead.
of just 1SKs an entire day.
Yeah, because that's the thing that I used to miss about RBE. That they kind of like deviated from this year, so to speak. Just like since the announcement of the moot card or whatnot was they prided themselves on finding talented guys that people weren't thinking about and building them up, such as like a Jay Murder or like a Gems or a Show Off, guys who kind of been swept under the rug, and that's pretty much what they're doing with the 1SKs. I want to see these 1SKs continue to build their brands and stuff like that and become main fixtures on RB the same way that Jay Murder did, the same way that Rosenberg Raw was given the opportunity to do, the same way that Show Off was, the same way that, Adi Boom was able to do. Like, but a lot of these guys are that I'm mentioning already had names and stuff like that. But you get what
Absolutely.
I'm
Nah, I
saying
get
as
what you're
far as
saying.
like being staples of the league, so to speak. So that's why I say balance the 1SKs out, save them for like, the cards that don't have the mega matches on them, and make the 1SKs matter, when you put them on the mega cards because the guys have built themselves up from being on the smaller cards. And it still could be a one, it still could be themed 1SK. It's still a 1SK battle to me. You know what I'm saying? Because now this is a 1SK on a mega card. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
So it's like, hey, next time you probably gonna get a name on one of these cards, or you're gonna get a name on a smaller card. You
yeah,
feel
that's
what
a
I'm
great
saying?
point, bro. I definitely hear you on that. I think they won't deviate from it too much, but they're gonna find a way to make it better, or just make the 1SKs show up on time. Like you guys
Right.
can't be late. Anybody else on this card could be late. You can't be late. Um,
Thanks.
I think we pretty much wrapped it up, man. Damn, J Mills is still trending on Twitter. This is great.
No
You
way.
know what? Too one last thing. I think he kind of wanted the same rollout that Mook got, but it's not the same. You can't compare.
And Mook stayed around.
J.R. Ryder was in the building. Shouts to J.R. Ryder. He looked disappointed
Thanks.
though.
Don Q was in
Oh
the
yeah, but Don
building.
Q was on K Shon's side. Listen, Don Q's not that far away from battle rap. Like he
No,
he'll
no,
try to
he's
like
not.
say like, oh, I used to battle rap way back in the day. Like he'll try to make it sound like it was so long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. Like 2015, he was battling on Queens Flip League. He has a battle on URL. Like Dunk you can actually do the modern battle rap. Not that he's not bad at it. He's pretty good actually. I'm actually more
Yeah,
surprised
but
he hasn't
again,
been to more events.
right? Well, I mean, it was good to see him pop out
Yeah,
for
it
this.
was.
And he definitely said, he don't be knowing when a lot of the events is. So as long as he knows, like, it's events going on and he's in town and there's dudes he banged with on the card, then he's gonna be showing up. He said he ain't ready yet to jump back in the ring.
Nah, yeah,
So he was
yeah. I
nice,
mean, we
man.
appreciate the honesty, right?
Right.
But he's just, I won't call him a student of the game, but he's not so far removed to the point like he doesn't know what's going on. Like he knows who's the top guys in URL. He has a close
Mm-hmm.
relationship with Smack. He knows K Shine, he knows DNA, he knows all these guys, and he's battled less than 4 years ago. So
Facts. But I mean, like I said, in conclusion, I want to see Mills back. I don't care how much hell Mills is getting on the internet.
yeah, five
Mills still
battles.
has, you seen in the first round, he still has, big amount of trouble or what type Mills shit in there. He just got to get with the right people, surround himself
I
with the
think he needs
right
to humble
people,
himself. Like he needs to just take
and
this battle as an learning experience and not try to not. I hope he doesn't try to like say, "Well, I won the first. This is close," and then somebody on the internet says he won, and he'll take it and run with it. Like, don't do that. Like, please don't. Like, and I'm saying this humbly. Like, I'm saying this
yes,
humbly, like in the sense of like I want to see you come back and do good. Take this battle, learn from it, and surround yourself around the right people and study the game tapes.
right, because I mean, we seen what happened with Reed and John John. Reed didn't do good his first time back, but what happened when he stepped back on the
He did
stage with
great
Chess?
against chess.
Right. What happened when he stepped on the stage
He
with
beat
Rex?
Rex.
Exactly. So Mills lost the doggone head ice,
Yep.
right? You think he don't want his revenge? He sits down,
And
analyzes his battle,
more Harlem on Harlem
and
card.
analyze. Hey,
I don't something about Harlem on Harlem battles don't feel right. Like it looks like those guys don't want to do it to themselves neither.
I don't know, but I mean, he said he lost the ice pretty bad, and then after his K Shine loss, he might want to get back in there. But regardless of the fact, he's got to humble himself. He has to be more in tune with battle rap. You need to meet some PGs. You know what I'm saying? You need to befriend some of these guys that are up and comers and some of these guys that are vets and figure out what to do. Get on the
Yeah,
phone with K Shine
we were about to
if you
wrap
had
up,
to.
but now that you opened that door, it made me wonder a couple things. Did it shock you that J Mills and like or Charlie Clips didn't at all speak about J Mills' return? Like there was nothing really about like Clips, like what he thought about it, like what he thinks, them communicating. Like that really could have helped him out a lot.
You never know what's going on in Harlem, G. You know what
Big
I'm saying?
facts.
You never know what's going on in
Big
Harlem. You
facts.
know what I mean? And I spoke on some of that, at the press conference and in the battle. So, I mean, you never know what's going on. That's the only thing I can
Yeah,
say.
that would have really made a big impact and difference for him. Um,
100,000%.
um, can I just say, 2018, Murder Mook, T Rex, Reed Dollars, J Mills. Um, Pretty awesome. All these guys have come back. Kaboom still battling.
Definitely.
Didn't Cicero battle? Cicero had a battle, right?
Kaboom, I think.
I
Was
think that
that
was the
this
end of
year? I
last
don't
year, if
know.
I'm not mistaken. But
Hmm.
Ness battled. A lot of the guys from their era still around. It's pretty cool.
Definitely, man. It's always dope to see those guys, still out here
A
putting
lot
the
of guys
work
came
in.
back this year. Like
You
that's
know what I
awesome.
mean? So we'll see what happens, in the next couple months. If anybody else comes back, well, they need to stay where the hell they at.
Oh,
You know what
Mickey
I'm
Fax
saying?
battling this year. Air quote, air quote. I mean, it's not real, but Danny Meyer, Danny Myers,
Cassidy's
Danny Myers threw it out there,
Cassidy's
so I
battling.
guess it's real.
Uh, Volume 3 is coming up. You know what I'm saying? We all know Mickey Fax and DNA are booked for that. Mickey's rounds.
Yeah, Yo, man, I'm ready to get up out of here, man. It was a great event, and now I guess the next podcast episode we do in the not in the near future, I guess in a couple weeks, we have to have this Geechee Gotti and K-Shine debate.
We definitely
After
gonna
this
have
weekend,
to.
though,
I'm
for
gonna.
sure.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to revisit that
Oh
conversation,
man,
as well as a couple other things. So for all the listeners, look forward to the end of the year. The things we have coming in the end of the year. Also, within the next week or so, we will be hitting the 100th episode mark very soon. So we have some things planned in the works.
almost 100 episodes in,
So
crazy.
yeah, and less than 12 months, been about 11 months, right, friends?
Just about.
Wow. So yeah, we're gonna sign out. This is your boy Bad Money. You'll follow me at Bad Money 29 on Twitter. You can follow France at LTBR Podcast on Twitter. Shout outs to Program V. Shout outs to Dylan. Shout out to Tim. Shout out to everybody that supports us on our podcast and everything we got going on. Follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Music, Stitcher, anywhere you can stream at. We are there. Again, it's Bad Money. In France, we are signing out. Let's talk battle rap podcast. Till next time.
All right, bro. I'm about to go have these crab legs. I gotta put some butter on them, double them up real quick, and that's my name.